Are we good?
Yes.
We're good.
Yes.
There you go. All right. Where are we today, Rich? What are we going to talk about today?
Home automation.
Is that what all this is? This looks like very complex
Well, that looks
stuff.
like a panelized lighting system.
That's like very complex.
It is.
I don't know if that's going to be something we can actually do ourselves, but we're going to talk about how to do home automation and get it set up yourself. And we've got a couple options for you if you actually want to hire somebody to get it done. And so we're going to talk about that home automation stuff and get you going. Before we do that, our buddies over at Klein Tools, you can see right here, there's like that Klein Tools, that's a 25-foot tape measure. There's a crimping tool right here with wire strippers.
Nice.
From Klein Tools. And there's 120 foot, like, I mean, if you just want to run conduit forever and pull wires and forget about junction boxes, 120 foot fish tape. And it's a
120 foot.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that an indication of poor planning, as Denny might ask?
Yeah, exactly. Poor planning, or would you lose your keys?
Yeah. I don't know. 120 feet, that's a good, because if you run 100 foot of pipe, you got a little extra 20 feet, so it's not too bad.
120 feet is what, your neighbor's house?
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, we do get into warehouses and larger areas where, your home runs from wherever you're working back to the main panel is over 100 feet. So then you end up putting junction boxes in along the way so that your 50-foot fish tape can pull them.
Gotcha.
But
now you don't need those junction boxes.
No. Now,
but the other thing is you're not supposed to have more than 360 degrees of bends in a run.
Correct.
So really the 120 feet is a simple pull because it's going to be pretty straight.
You would hope. Yeah. So then you got to make sure you have rotator cuffs that are in good shape to handle pulling that for 120 feet.
You're pulling an elephant from one place to the other.
That's right. Oh, you're halfway through and your shoulders are just blasted. So
right.
Yeah. So we've got all this stuff from Klein Tools, a 25-foot tape measure that has a magnetic tip on the end. So you can see right there.
So that'll stick to CPVC?
No, it won't, but steel studs it will. And it's got a button on the bottom so that it locks. So you can lock it out and then retract it, or you can extend it out, lock it on the top and let go. So it'll stay in there. So that's a really good 25-foot measuring tape. And also it's got, on this side, you've got a yellow, and on this side, a white. And it's got conduit electrical calculations on the back that most people wouldn't use because they don't bend conduit. But if you did, you're there. Now, the last thing we've got that our buddies from Klein Tools sent us
yes,
is this monster right here.
Oh, that's killer.
This is a Klein Tool backpack. Now, I know you can't see all the tools and stuff you've got in here, or the pockets, pouches. But
what's it say on the label? It'll say 35 pouches or something.
Let's see what it says on there. It says it's a tool station backpack, 21 pockets.
There you go.
So you've got 21 pockets in here that you can, oh, look at this. We'll unstrap this and flip this down. So look at that. That opens up really nice. You get a lot of tools in there.
Oh, that's killer.
And you've got pockets, a bunch of stuff in here. So this is a great backpack if you're needing to get your tools around. And if you're working downtown somewhere, or you need to, just go in and out, you can throw this on your shoulder.
You could be one of those guys that specializes in working on certain types of equipment.
Yes.
And now you can get through the airport.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So if you're interested in any one of these, here's what we're doing. You have to.
The skinny.
Here's the skinny.
He's going to tell you at the end of the show.
You can win one of these, and you'll get your choice of which one you want. Look, I should probably move that out of your way there, Rich.
No, it looks like a chest pack.
Yeah, it does. See, look at that. That's perfect. Look at that.
Just put it on.
Just come right out of the bag.
That's right. So anyway, we can. You'll get your choice. Right. But if they wanted to sign up for the newsletter, Rich, and find out how to win this, what would they do?
So the key is to get to the newsletter. So the newsletter, you go to mightyhouse.net, go to the Contact Us page. All we're looking for is your first and last name, your email address. Scroll on down and click on boom, done.
That's right.
It's
And
that simple. And we only send you the newsletter once a week. No other garbage emails or anything. So if you sign up and you don't get it, please look in your spam folder and mark us as not spam.
that's right. So
Because neither one of us would fit in a spam cam if our license depended on it.
but if you want to win one of these, when we'll give you your choice of which one you want, one of these Klein tools will be yours. If you go sign up for the newsletter, we're going to send out the newsletter, and it will have the directions on how to win one of these, and we'll give it away on the next show that we do next week.
Yep. So this week's important because you get the choice of the 4.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
next week you're only going to get a choice of 3.
Correct. And then, we're going to keep working our way down
Well,
that.
we'll keep restocking the prize closet. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what else with Klein
As
Tools
long as
sends us.
Klein will have us, exactly.
That's right. So
'Cause
they're
I got to reach out to them anyway. I've got I told you before the show, I got a friend of mine. He's leaving for Georgia. He's going to lineman school.
oh yeah, excellent.
So I said, well, I am going to know a whole bunch of guys that need some new Klein tools then.
That's right.
You're not going out there with junk stuff.
Oh no. Klein is definitely the best tool out there. So you can go find out more information at kleintools.com also if you want to go check them out. Yeah. In the meantime, we were going to be talking about home automation today. Mm-hmm. So we should probably get into it. I'm sorry?
The Jetsons.
The Jetsons. Yes, that's true. I was going to say we probably have pretty much everything that the Jetsons had in their home.
Yeah.
We can pretty much do that right now.
Rosie the
Have the
Roomba.
flying car outside the window.
Rosie the Roomba comes in. So the first thing, number one, is what do you want to control? So where would we start with that, Rich? What the basics are? You got lighting, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. Like you said, what do you want to control? So most everybody at this point, their first purchase is a doorbell with a camera.
Yeah, the Ring doorbells. Yeah, or the...
well, there's a couple of different brands now, but yeah, let's just
Nest,
stay
hello.
on that. But yeah, the Ring doorbell seems to be the first purchase most of them have. Mm-hmm. And all these companies are kind of growing exponentially.
Yes.
So, Ring started with a doorbell, but now they have light control and so on, and everything's starting to get interconnected.
Right.
But home security, I think, is the other really big one.
Yeah, now you don't need to go to ADT and have them come and install the system. You can buy the parts and pieces and put the motion sensors in and do all that stuff yourself, interconnect it through your Wi-Fi, and then you can also have reporting on that too. So if you set it up with Google or Amazon or any of the others.
And you got to do some research because all of those are cost-based. So the cheap plan may not record your data. Mm-hmm. Or you may not be able to retrieve it. So you have to go to a different plan, which might be, another 10 or 15 a month. It varies quite a bit. But if you want, you got to sit down and figure out exactly what you want to do.
Right. So, and the other thing is, if you don't want it to report anywhere, you just want it to come to your phone, you can program it to do that too. And if you don't want it going to a reporting agency that makes the phone calls for you. So, the
one thing I strongly recommend is having a local area network with good protection.
Yep.
And a password other than your
1, 2, 3,
address.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How's that? Or how about 4, 3, 2, 1? Nobody will figure that out.
Yeah, that'll throw them off. They'll never try that backwards. So yes, I mean that's the key. The stuff you see with the Ring doorbell, the videos that are stuff where they're saying they're hacked.
Yep.
A lot of those are open networks and stuff. So it's very easy to look up items on an open network from a close area.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's it.
Be smart.
Yes. So your garage door opener, if you're, how many different, there's 2 or 3 different garage door manufacturers that I can think of right now that have a Wi-Fi connection to it so that way you can connect it in, and it can be a separate app on your phone, or you can tie it in with another existing app that you're already working with.
Yeah, and I have one on my phone, so I've never used it.
You say that again?
I've never used it.
Really?
No.
You still use the button in the truck, right? And that's how you get in. Yeah. But
And the button works from like half a block away.
Oh, yeah.
So you press that, by the time I get to the garage door's open. So yeah, I haven't had a lot of use for it, but there are reasons. So let's say you're one of those peoples that gets a lot of stuff from Amazon Prime.
Yep.
You don't want it sitting on your front porch. Obviously, there's porch pirates. If your garage is clear and you don't have a lot of valuables in there, I mean, I would just simply, they could say, hey, we're here. Just open up the garage door, throw it inside, close garage door, tells you to open or close and how long.
Right.
So,
and Amazon has a lock that you can put on your front door now for the same reason with a key fob. That the drivers come up with the key fob, they swipe it, it unlocks the door, they can set stuff in there and close the door again.
And Amazon's really good at their delivery system too. Like with my Alexa, I get a notification as soon as they step in through my front door down in the lobby.
Really?
So I get it. It's almost like they hit the button to say we're here as they're leaving the vehicle, so that you get it right there. It's crazy how integrated it is.
I guess I'm just not comfortable with allowing them to come in my front door. I mean, if you had a vestibule with a secondary lock door, that's one thing.
That's what I've got. Yeah. I don't let them do that.
But to just let them in your front door, hopefully the dog doesn't run out or whatever. But
exactly. Yeah. So but if you had the garage door opener like that on your phone, you could open that to let contractors in. Somebody coming by to service it. Kids forget their keys and they can't get in the house. You can open the door for them. So I mean, there's a lot of different uses for this equipment. So some of the other things that you can control with your in your house, if you wanted to, is
life safety. So smokes and fires.
Those are really popular. The thermostat in your home, which I personally love, because I use people that are snowbirds and they're empty nesters. They're in and out of town. They're semi-retired or retired, and they're off on vacations for a long period of time. Clients of ours, we will go out there and install a Nest system or an Ecobee, whatever they're looking for, and I can connect that here. And now I get notification if the heat goes out, something's wrong with the house. I'll get a notification here, and I can go then take care of it. Before I used to have to go check on.
Just a word of caution, we do a lot of very high-end systems that are 25 SEER, so they are communicating, and not only is the air handler blower variable speed, but the compressor's variable speed, or I just blew that one. But anyway, the variable speed compressor, so you cannot put third-party weather thermostats in there.
Right. So then,
if you do, you will mess up the communication and ruin the system. So be very careful. Be familiar with your system before you do that. It's not always what it's cracked up to be.
But you can get a Wi-Fi system with that will connect in and give you
that's
access.
just it. Those systems only come with high-end thermostats to set them up, and they all train and all of them have apps for that.
Right. But even though it's proprietary thermostat to work with their equipment, they still have it interconnected so that you can gain access to it. So
absolutely.
And it's good for notifications if something goes wrong with their system. It'll send your contractor or whoever a notification that something wrong, whether you're home or not.
Our
and they
contractors that install actually can monitor the system, and if there's an error fault, it actually notifies the contractor of the error as well.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of good advantage to that, especially if you're in and out of the house. Another option if you're out of town for long periods of time is water sensors that you can put throughout the basement or underneath the kitchen sink or areas where you're prone to get some water or some flooding. You can put those in there, and those will send out the same notifications and let you know that something's wrong.
And Moan has been pushing one lately. It's their water sense and
for the water service themselves.
It actually monitors flow.
Yeah, the water service.
It's sort of it realizes basically based on usage history that there should be nobody home, and if there starts to be water flowing, it'll shut the main off.
Right. And actually, we had a client that has that system. They had a toilet that was running. The flapper was leaking.
Did you run and get it?
No, I didn't. I left it sit there. But the
plumber, the toilet escaped.
The toilet's running. Can you come catch it?
Yes.
So anyway, it was running, and it kept shutting off her water service because the water sensor sensed that there was a leak somewhere and kept shutting off. So,
so it's not just water leak that'll do damage; it's water leak that wastes money.
Sure. So they didn't intend for that, And so, you know, I got yelled at because the water service kept turning off. We just installed the system. Why is it going off all the time? So then she calls later and says, you know, my toilet's running. Can you come fix that? Well, wait a minute. Let's put 2 and 2 together.
Same problems, right?
Yeah.
And what I like about it too is you can get just a plug. So let's say you've got an old-fashioned coffee maker or something that doesn't have a timer on it. Now you got a smart timer, or a light that does the same thing. I've even seen people use it to open windows and dog doors because you just get a servo that only rolls up when it's got power, and then when it loses power, everything comes back down.
Sure.
So and all of those things work with your voice assistant. It's amazing. What a time we live in.
Yes, and like Lutron, they have for blinds and all that stuff. You can run out all the blinds in your house through that and shades.
Right.
So if you have a motor on it or it's electrified. There's a controller to make it go on and off.
Yes.
And I think that's really where we're going. Even your water heaters now, you can...
I think it's actually gotten to the point, though, now that it's almost confusing.
Oh, sure.
I mean, which way do you want to go?
Right.
I mean, we talked about some of the stuff, what do you want to control? But let's touch on communications.
Okay.
So...
Oh, hey, check it out. Dick Tracy.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you know, how many people have an iWatch now? It blows my mind how many people, be sitting around. Got a text looking at their Dick Tracy watch.
Yeah, that's right.
You make calls on them now, too.
Oh, yeah. You can actually make phone calls on your watch. Yeah. I want the Star Trek thing, the communicator.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
I've seen those, too.
Well, the communicator was the original flip phone.
Oh, yeah. That's from the older Star Trek, yeah.
They actually have those in the hospitals. They're called Voceras.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so they have the little communication, and it comes in and says, "Hey, Doctor So and Such, this is Nurse What's Its Face. I need to talk to you about
the who's its what's.
About the who's its. That's it. You need 50 cc's of who's its."
So you can do the Dick Tracy watch like this. And if you want to store it, you want to store the stuff, you can have it all cloud-based stuff. You can have drivers and stuff or computers sitting in your home where it's all runs off of that. So it depends on where you're going to set this stuff up and what you're going to do with it. So
okay, so now you got to talk about like a little bit we'll talk about the systems a little bit individually.
Yeah.
But again, you're going to have to set your budget as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because
there are systems out there. The original picture that's up there, or a background, it's a panelized lighting system.
Sure.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No, not at all.
It's an extremely expensive system, but it's the most controllable, the most customizable for setting scenes and whatnot. So it's great, and we've done it on a few of the super high-end homes because it easily $10,000-$12,000 upgrade, no problem.
Oh yeah,
even think twice.
Oh yeah.
So,
but then now you can
higher for you because again, we're just using extension cords.
Yes, but so now you're able to control your house with a tablet, your cell phone, your watch, like we showed here, the computer at your desktop, whether you're at work or at home, you can do it.
Or just your voice assistant.
Yeah.
You don't even have to touch anything. You just tell it.
Fuzzy Robbie was saying that's what he does. He doesn't even use the remote for his TV anymore.
I sure don't. I don't need to. Well, first off, I cut the cord just like you.
Yep.
So you're a pioneer, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll look at everything on my phone, and I won't even be on the Wi-Fi on my phone. I'll look through whatever's on Hulu or whatever else, and I'll look right over and just say, "Oh, I like that thing. Hey Google, do this thing."
Right.
Like, it's great.
Yeah, and it takes care of it. So those are all different ways that you can now control your house, which is absolutely amazing. So should we get into the system?
Am I just old enough where I just still freak out because Alexa and Google are just sitting there listening?
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Siri, they're just sitting there listening all the time.
Yep.
Well, I have it set now where you can. There's a couple different ways you can do it where it acknowledges every time it's listening.
Oh, really?
So when you say its name, it goes boop. Here's the thing. When it's done listening, it's another thing. But what I've got now is the response. So I don't have to keep saying Google this command, Google that command. After I say a command, it does whatever it does, and then it stops and waits for me to tell it to do something else. And most of the time, I'll just say thank you. Thank you. And it goes, "You're welcome. Thanks, Mr. Green."
Okay. So
yeah, I just don't like it. You know, I don't think there's any reason it needs to be listening and recording everything all day long from every person in the house.
No, and we've got an Alexa sitting in the kitchen. We never use it. Other than the TV will activate it sometimes. Something will happen on the TV and it'll go, "I'm sorry, we didn't understand you." We're like, what? What happened?
Yeah.
So,
right.
So it, like you said, it's listening all the time.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No.
Just old school though.
You can get up and turn your TV.
I do. That's why I'm thinner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then this.
I have no problem getting off the couch to do what I got to do.
All right. So let's run down some of the systems here. We've got.
Okay.
Step back a little bit there. Step off to the side a little bit.
Let me move over by here.
Yeah, over by there.
So again, this is Nest.
Yep. And go ahead.
And you like these. They track your usage. They kind of get to learn your patterns. Mm-hmm. And it will actually self-control at some point.
Yeah. No, we've got one. What I like about it, and this is mostly what we install in our clients' homes too, so that we now have control over it if they want us to. But then we can turn things on and off and check the house. It's really a good system for that. This is also their Nest Protect, which is a smoke and carbon monoxide detector. So like when my daughter burns stuff, this thing goes off and, you know.
Oh, steak timer.
Yeah, it's a steak timer. Yeah. So
yeah, when it goes off, it means turn it. When
Right.
it goes off again, it means it's done.
And it says there is smoke in the room. There may be a potential issue. Please check it out. And then it says, if you don't get rid of the smoke in the room really soon, I'm going to make really loud noises. So it was pretty funny to have it start talking. I never heard it actually do that before. So
And is that hardwired in, or do I still got to buy a bunch of 9 volts?
Either way, you can do this. It comes with a 10-year battery, or you can do a 10-year battery with a battery backup, and it hooks up to the 110 volt. So you can take down your existing system and put this in. Now this will also communicate throughout the house with all the other units wirelessly through the Wi-Fi. You do not need to use the control wire anymore for communicating from one to the other.
Great.
So this is just the beginning of a Nest. They have a huge line of security systems, cameras, all kinds of stuff, and it's all expandable off of one system. And then
and the Nest is owned by Google.
Yes, and now it's called
they actually
Google Nest.
track all your usage.
Yes.
Pardon?
Now it's called Google Nest. Also,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they track everything. So all your data, your set points for your temperature and the times that you do it,
Yep.
it tracks all that. Mm-hmm. But don't get that part of it. I already have investigated. They're not snooping on you per se. It doesn't necessarily keep track of your address and the name and the user, but it collects the data. And it's only been a few years that they've been having the annual conference where they share that data. Mm-hmm. And some of what they're learning is really amazing, that how little people turn their thermostats back, or some people turn it back too much and they're actually losing money.
Right.
So
right.
the data that's gained from it is pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I get a monthly email from them saying, your power usage was better than your neighbors, or you were 75 percentile, so it tells you how you're doing against other people in your area, in your neighborhood too, that also have Nest.
You're trying to get
I
that
thought that
Facebook
came from the electric companies,
Yeah.
from the co-ops trying to get you to change companies.
Exactly. So, and another one?
Just like the Nest, though, you got another one at Ecobee.
Yes. Now this one, a lot of people like this one because it is supposedly a little harder to break into.
And it's not owned by Google.
Yeah, and it's not owned by Google. I think they're still, Ecobee has not been bought out by any other company yet.
Not that I'm aware of.
Right. So they still have their control of their own systems. So it really works well.
Or you have control of your own system.
Yes, exactly. But this will interconnect with any of the other control systems. They don't have the collection of other devices, cameras and stuff like that interconnect with this automatically. You would have to tie this system in with another system that maybe doesn't have the thermostat. So
A third party thing
Right.
and all that, right?
right, and then what you started out with, the next one is the Ring. So and that's what really gets everybody kind of into the home automation market is let's try one of these Ring things. So you can hit the doorbell, the camera comes on, and
Well, it's cool, but I mean, even it's got a motion sensor, so even if a car drives by, it'll actually start.
right.
And my boss's young boys realized early on that if they went and pressed the doorbell, Daddy would answer his phone.
Exactly.
So they used to go outside the house and ring the doorbell so they could talk to Daddy. It was pretty funny, actually.
That's pretty cool. So and you've got Ring, but then Nest has their Hello system. So there's a bunch of different doorbells like that. And then
But since Amazon bought Ring is now coming out with a lot more gadgets that can be tied to it.
yes, and it's that
So
is getting
your door locks and so on. So a
Sure.
little bit of money behind them.
Yes. Lutron, which is a privately held company, family owned, I believe they're still in Pennsylvania. They have the blinds control. You can have the app right here to do all kinds of stuff. They have their own thermostat, and then they have all the switching options: dimmers, timers. If you want to have your outside lights on, you can set them to go on and off whatever time you want. You just get on your app and program it. And they have this one controller that you have to put together. So you start that and everything links into this, and now you can run this system through this, or you could hook it up to another, like if you had Google apps or one other app
Right.
you want to use, you can use those too. But very basic system. You install that yourself.
Right. And that one's the Caseta, and that is
Caseta,
probably what you'd find at a box store or whatever.
Correct. Yep. You can get all these parts at a box store.
And
Yeah.
these are different.
And that's their base. And Lutron's been, realistically, it's been the longest name in the game.
Yep.
Have
So
you guys started to
the
see?
one reason why it's funny, we've tried different manufacturers, different systems.
Yep.
And a lot of times we still end up doing Lutron
Yeah. Yeah.
because people have had it and they're familiar with it.
Right. And it's a good, solid company with good, solid products.
Yeah,
You
they've
don't
been around for a long time. They're not going anywhere tomorrow.
Go ahead and step back off to the side there a little bit more, because there's one more I forgot you're covering right here. Look at that. So now if you have
The
an
repeater
outlet,
outlet or the other switch?
so now this one, you just plug this in, and now you can run a lamp cord or do whatever. You can control anything you want off of that. That just plugs in. So if you've got a device
Well,
that
and
plugs in, you can use
I'm
that.
not a Lutron expert, but I
Play one on
did
TV.
not stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
Oh, okay.
But the Lutron controller, the one that you've got down there by your side right there.
Yes, this one right here.
Yeah, that one. That
Okay.
one. Yeah. Oop, quit holding my hand. That one. That's only good for about 30 feet, I think it says. So if your house is 60 feet long, somewhere in the middle, you got to put one of those outlets in. The outlets act as repeaters as well.
Yes.
So, you could put in 3 of those outlets and the controller can be in the middle of the house somewhere or end of the house. And it works great.
Yes.
Have you guys
So
started
we do
to
quite
see
a bit of those on our lower end homes.
Have you guys started to see that light switches are going away and more towards something like this, where it's a panel
Oh, absolutely.
or different buttons? Or
We already do.
Yeah.
So with those, what we do is we put in, your lights are wired to a switch location. And a lot of times if you walk into a closet, you might see a bank of switches up high on the wall, and there could be 10 or 12 switches up there. That's where the light's actually controlled. We will put a Lutron switch in there that can then communicate to that controller. And what you see right here,
Yeah. This Pico
this is a
switches.
4 button,
Yeah.
and then you got the 6 buttons
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
So you can actually have 6 different loads on that switch,
Yep.
and you hit all the other ones. So instead of walking into a room that had 5 different lighting circuits and having a bank of 5 light switches, which looks like a restaurant, you have that one single gang box there
Right.
that you can control. And as you add devices, it automatically adds it to the Wi-Fi network or the controller. So you do them one at a time, and it's super easy to do.
Yes.
You put it in the dining room, it's going to go, hey, I'm new. Where am I?
Right.
Dining room.
Yep.
So now you can say dim lights dining room, but done.
Yep. Yep. No, it
And
is
not oversimplifying it. It's actually
it is
almost
that
easy.
It is that easy, and we install a lot of it for basic setups. So, What do we got next? Oh, this is the Google one.
This is it.
This is called Google Home. This is what you use, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fuzzy?
that's what I got. I got a bunch of these minis floating around.
The minis. This one?
Yeah. That
So
actually
they can never miss a word, a murder, or a plot.
Exactly. Well, I actually have one of those minis in my kitchen with my Alexa.
Okay.
And sometimes, because we listen to the music
Do
and
they
everything
argue?
else through there. Every once
I
in a
was just
while.
thinking the same thing. Do they argue?
What I'll do is if I leave the Alexa running in the kitchen, instead of getting up and going over there or pulling up my phone, I'll actually tell Google to broadcast. I'll say, Google, broadcast, and it'll say, what would you like to say? I would like to say, Alexa, stop. And sure enough, it listens to me through the broadcast, so bingo, bango, third party there.
That's just wrong.
Yeah. So, and then you get one of these pads, and now you can hook this into any of the other stuff, the Nest or any of the other systems, and you can control everything through this then. So you're using third-party switches, third-party doorbells, security system, but then Google will bring this all together and tie it all up.
What I like about Google, too, just to get on that bandwagon, is that I can make individual requests. So I can say, like, when I say, Google, we're leaving, here is the scene that it'll run through. And it'll run through. Like, it shuts all my stuff off, and it says, hey, have a nice trip. Like, you just program it in there. Or you say, see you later, jerk. Like, you can put whatever you want in there.
That's amazing. So that is another system. And again, in researching this, I found there's over 50, easily 50 different systems, because I was finding the top 50 systems to be looking at. So who knows how many there is out there total. Alexa, there's your Alexa systems.
But I don't know, does Alexa, I mean, it integrates with a lot of things, but I'm not sure, is there much in that line for home automation? Outlets, light control, thermostats? Or is it still just voice command automation that you tie in?
This will tie in to your TV systems, and then you can bring in the Lutron stuff into this. You can bring the Nest stuff into this. It'll all interconnect and mesh up. It's amazing. They're all talking
they
to
don't
each
have
other.
any of their standalone products other than the
No.
eavesdropping device.
Well, they also have
and the
the
little
smart
hockey
TV
pucks.
dongles too. So your Fire Stick for Amazon and your Chromecast for Google, it instantly turns your TV, whatever it is, any HDMI, into a smart TV at that point. And if it even has,
we're about a phone call away from losing cable as well. I've got the antenna going. I'm waiting for NBC to finish their equipment, which is tomorrow. And then and we're good.
Excellent. Congratulations for cutting the cord.
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting a little too expensive, and I'm getting rid of Comcast altogether and going to a different internet provider.
Yep, that's it. So one last one. These are all have been like do-it-yourself stuff. Is the Samsung, which is another one that's somewhat popular, and that you find these at the big box stores, and you can plug these systems in, and then it's got the main hub there to interconnect, and then from that you can connect into the Alexa or the Google stuff, whatever you want to do.
Well, and this I just ran into, so I just bought another TV for my bar. And it happened to be a Samsung. Well, when you turn it on, it's like, do you want to go through the menu or do you want to use Samsung Live?
Right.
So you download the app, it goes on my Wi-Fi network, it figures out I got where that TV is. You go through the whole setup, and everything I plug in will go right through Samsung Live.
Yep.
So it's a super easy way to set up your automation. So even if you think you can handle the light switches, all your television entertainment is right there. So that you can tell Samsung's very committed to making that work.
Yep. No,
and just those two things is life-saving. Like it changes everything.
Sure.
Just lights and your entertainment center.
Yep.
Just those two is perfect, simple, do-it-yourself installation.
Right. So some of the pro installations, if these other systems, that's the Levitan system, and you get one of these boxes that you get installed, and then they'll come in and install these control panels. But then again, you can control locks, thermostats, everything right through this one system, and it'll report to the cloud and come right to your cell phone or your tablet. So another one is Sonos, which I think this is a lot of. This started out mostly
Sonos
as music,
was
right?
primarily a music thing.
Right, but
And they have expanded some, but I don't know many people that are using Sonos now because of Bluetooth overall. And as we were sort of talking before the show, is now because of the Bluetooth, you can use Pandora and all that, and it'll connect directly to most of your other platforms, whatever your receiver is or whatever.
Right. Yeah, and this interconnects with your TV, your entertainment speakers throughout the house. It's a good system. Step back in the light.
It just
Rich.
almost seems like it's getting out left behind a little bit. That's just my opinion on here on this show.
Right. So Radio Raw, which is Raw 2. Let me see. Step back. There we go. Radio Raw 2.
That's a Lutron system, but that's their higher end.
Right. And this does all the high-end controls, blinds, everything like that. But you also need to be certified tech through Lutron to be able to install the Radio Raw stuff. Control 4.
And we do that in a lot of our homes now.
Yeah. And then the Control 4 was another really high-end system. And it does entertainment. It does everything through this one system. They're really a good system, but you need to be certified through Control 4 to install it.
And that we do in 90% of our homes. So I'd say 10% Lutron, Radio Raw, and the other 90% are Control 4. One thing nice with Control 4, that they might not have everything that everybody else has in a way. But for example, when we talk about the thermostats, so I have train systems with very expensive thermostats that need to be there to communicate with everything. They will bring the app from train. It will show up in that wheel.
Oh, right in this
so
part
as
here.
long as you're on that screen, it will add that, and you'll touch it, so it's seamless. You won't realize that you're actually being taken to train's automation or control board.
Right.
But it's all part of Control 4. They're very good about writing drivers so that they can integrate.
Yeah, so they're integrating other people's systems into there. So now
But
you still have
seamlessly.
one. You still have one system. So, I mean,
And we're using iPad Pros now for the wall panels, and they're magnetic docking stations. They magnet and charge.
Yep.
You can walk in, pop it right off the wall, walk through the house, and do whatever you want to do.
Yep. You can set all your lighting controls, everything through it.
Everything.
I would say this is probably the top end, the cream of the crop right here of
Well, no, I think actually even Savant might be even higher.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you get into that one, the problem is like Control 4, you need a Control 4 controller. You're going to need the switching equipment. Like your minimum investment before you start buying all the other light controls and stuff could be $6,000.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not for the faint of heart.
Right. And the Savant one, I haven't really worked with much, but I have run into it. I didn't know that it was on this level or a little bit higher.
No, it's probably a little bit higher, a little bit more money. And it depends on who you talk to. You know, the Savant guys that I know, and there's a really big distributor and installer up in Chicago who's actually working on a house down here for us. The owner's actually flown him down to do his system. You know, they swear by it. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but, you know, it's a lot of times it's who's selling it.
Right. So,
but it is a great system too.
Yeah. So there you go. It's a home automation stuff. The other thing is you can check into these systems if you happen to have a vacation home, multiple homes where you want to interconnect and have one app for all of them. That's something else you need to look into. And you can even have basic systems like the Google Nest or the Alexa stuff on one home or on one app, and it will control multiple homes. So it depends on how you set it up and how you organize it, but you can actually control multiple homes even from one app.
And I think even if you don't want to control them and you just want to monitor them, I think it's really important because you can look at the temperature, you can look at the humidity inside, you can see if water's running, you can see if windows are open or closed. I mean, it's just you can look around at the cameras. You know, I put 4 cameras around a house. You can always check it out.
Right.
So
you need to let service
offer
people
a lot of great benefits, peace of mind, and right at your hand.
Yep.
But it takes a commitment of either hiring somebody or having a staycation and doing it yourself.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of this stuff installs really, really easy, like you were saying. So you can you can always step up to the next program if you want to really get into some higher end stuff. But a lot of these do-it-yourself systems that are out there are really easy to do and really easy to control and reliable. I'm really amazed at how reliable these products have really become.
Well,
So.
even
Absolutely.
with talking about other houses, not necessarily your own house, you can also merge with family members and things too. My brother-in-law actually lives in the apartment below me,
Yeah.
and I can broadcast into his Googles.
Do you turn all of his lights off and stuff?
No,
on?
So you
I
don't
don't mess
even
around
call
with
him
that.
anymore. You just yell at him through his Google.
Exactly. So instead of me stomping on the floor, hey, get up here, I just say, hey, Google, broadcast downstairs. Boom.
Really?
Goes right to it. And then I even have family members that will call my Alexa from theirs.
Really?
So we've got kitchen to kitchen communication going on back and forth. It's great.
See, I mean, it's endless what you can do. You just think about it, and there's a program out there to get it done. So,
I hope we totally confused you and you
Yes.
have no idea where to start now. But
Yes.
No.
Hopefully we've helped you out with it. Real quick, we've got an email of the week, and the email is from. Oh, do you want to hit the music real quick? There you go.
Email, we get email, we get your email every day.
Robbie's not here to sing it.
Here's your mail today.
Unka chunka. All right. So the email is from Linda, and she wants to know about smart meters and how they affect her health or anyone's health that happens to be around them.
Ooh, you mean like the new electric meters?
Yeah. So the new smart meters, you'll find people saying that these are sending out electromagnetic waves and radio frequency.
Signal, is it not?
It's
Up to a quarter mile.
It's an RF wave, yeah. And that it's going to affect you and cook your insides and all this stuff. So should we just go right to the professional sonar
Jeez.
and axe him? So
Well, here's the thing that I
Sonar,
always
is
tell
it
people.
broiling my brain having that meter on my house?
Well, exactly. Well, that's the other thing too, is everybody's talking about the 5G and everything too. This is no more radiation than what the big flaming ball in the sky is sending down towards us.
Right.
So if you're okay with going out without sunscreen, you're okay with living in your house with a couple Wi-Fi signals and RF transmitters.
Right. And again, this is no different than the Wi-Fi running through your house or the cell signals or the radio signals from the radio stations that you might listen to. So.
Exactly.
Okay, but on that note, I'll give you one that I just ran into recently, which Sonar would probably better understand, or anybody that's in the Wi-Fi business. So almost all of our Wi-Fi networks are set up on 2.1 megahertz, or 2.4, excuse me.
Right.
2.4 megahertz. So most all your little things, my garage door controller, that's on 2.4 megahertz. My Alexa's on 2.4 megahertz. Well, a lot of the new routers and Wi-Fi are at 5.1. Mm-hmm. They will not work properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, that's why a lot of routers now, especially if you cut the cable, they actually send two. So you actually have two Wi-Fis in your house, the 2.4, 2.5, and then the 5. So when you go through there, you're right. There are some things that only communicate on that lower frequency. And that's just the way that they're made. Most of the time, it's smaller devices that are more used for close, more used for being really, because there's not a lot of energy. I guess literally half as much energy than the 5.
Sure.
So it's a shorter distance. So with that shorter distance, most of the time they're cell phones or your light switches or anything like that are their own thing. And you were talking about those hubs too. Most of those hubs actually make their own Wi-Fi, and then it just bridges over into yours. And that's where people are getting hacked, because they're not hacking your Comcast or Cox or whatever you get. They're actually hacking the hub itself. If that's not password protected.
And that's what we ran into, and it was with a particular water heater. It didn't come with controllers. It came with Wi-Fi modules. And I could not get them to work. And when the Wi-Fi guys setting up the network showed up, They go, yeah, those are 2.4. We don't got none of that here. So then when you talk to, and they didn't, nothing is 2.4 in that house. So when I talked to the water heater manufacturer, they're like, oh yeah, we can sell you a bridge. You just put that on your router and it will then find an IRQ and actually communicate.
Yeah,
But
you can
we
go
didn't
the
want
other
more
way
parts.
too.
I just put the old controllers in. I bought controllers because they're beautiful touch screens and the homeowner can walk up and go hot, on, off. Beautiful, done.
There you go. Yeah, and you can buy a router that does that too. So if you're running into that problem where you only have one frequency or the other, you can actually take and find a router, take your modem where your internet comes in, plug it into the router, and then the router can have those multiple channels and multiple things.
So I want to get that out there because I don't want somebody running out to a box store buying Lutron or going somewhere else and buying the Google stuff or ordering online because, like you said, there's 50, 60 places, right?
Yep.
So if they buy online, they start setting it up and they're having communication issues, start looking at that.
Right.
That's your first place you want to look.
That's it. And back to our email question. No, this will not bother you.
I thought we were past that. I apologize. I didn't want to run off on
That's
you,
all right.
but
I just wanted to circle back and answer her question. You don't have to worry about the RF signal coming off of this. It's no worse than a cell phone or the Wi-Fi or any other radio signal running through your house. It's not going to cook you. You're not going to have any problems with it.
Exactly. And if it did, bring on the superpowers. Am I
right.
right? I want to fly. I want to be invisible. I want all of the radiation I can possibly get.
You can glow. Yeah.
or get
good.
by the spider that absorbed more.
There you go.
All right. Roll that close there, buddy. So, you know what? You can join us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Periscope Live, and we're brought to you in part by Mr. Floor. So I want to thank Mr. Floor. Podcasts of all our shows are available at mightyhouse.net, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and on HomeImprovementUSA.com. Find links to all of them at mightyhouse.net. And if somebody wanted to sign up for the newsletter, Rich, and win one of these Klein tools, we got to find out.
You want to get that newsletter, you want to go over to mightyhouse.net. Look for the Contact Us page. Just give us your first, last name, your email address, and then click on Boom, Done. Sometime Friday, you'll get the newsletter.
Yep.
And in there, it'll tell you exactly how to win your choice of one of those 4 Klein tools.
Yeah, we're going to be giving one of these away. And we've also got this bag right there. Look at that.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful backpack.
And I'm willing to bet you that bag is retail well over $100.
Yes, without a doubt. So, Klein Tools, thanks a lot. Say thanks to Klein Tools again.
Always.
And with that, for Fuzzy Robbie, who's not here, she's out again. She had something going on, I can't remember. Rich Calgill.
Family dinner.
I'm Ron Calgill. Keep it square and level.
Until next
Wednesday.
time.
Next Wednesday, next time.
Yeah.
We're going to figure out what we want to say.
Look at it there.